Hola. In this video, I'm going to go over the basics of conjugating in Spanish in the present tense. So what I'm going to start with is just a basic overview of what conjugation is. Now in the Spanish language, we have these things called infinitives, infinitivo, right, such as hablar meaning to speak. Now infinitives do not tell us when an action is happening or who's doing the action. It's just the action by itself. So in order to say something like I speak or you speak, we have to change these infinitives a little bit into something else. So the process of how we do that in all tenses, it doesn't matter if it's present tense or past tense or certain future tenses, what you do is you count 1, 2 letters from the end of the word, and then you eliminate those last 2 letters. Right? That's the infinitive ending. So we take what remains and we use that. This is what's known as the stem, raíz. So now that we have the stem here, we have to add the ending, terminación. So if we want to say something like you speak, then the ending for you speak is tú hablas. Right, you have hablas here. Right, so those two together, that gives you speak. Alright, so now that we have a basic idea of conjugation, let's look at some more specific examples. So here I have a chart where we're going to talk about an example AR verb. AR verb meaning a verb that in the infinitive form ends in the letters AR, because there are different ones that end in ER and IR. So right here we're going to use the verb hablar, to speak, as an example. So any other regular AR verb in Spanish will follow pretty much the same pattern in the present tense. So just like we showed before, you drop off the last 2 letters of the word, the last 2 letters of hablar being AR. That leaves us with just habl. And this is going to be the stem for every one of the conjugations. So habl will be used for all of them in this case. Now for yo, this one's a little bit different. We just add O at the end, so it's yo hablo. For tú, we start a pattern that we'll see in the present tense, in some other tenses, and some things that are actually similar between AR verbs and ER verbs is that the next letter we write after the stem is a letter related to the type of verb it is. So since it's an AR verb, we add an A. But then the next letter is the ending that tells us who's doing the action. So we have tú hablas. And the reason I have it set up this way with the different colors is because for él, ella, usted, we use the same a because it's an AR verb. So it's él habla, ella habla, usted habla. For nosotros and nosotras, we use the same a because it's an AR verb. Nosotros hablamos. It's nosotros, so it does receive a different ending there. For vosotros and vosotras, that's used in Spain, we have vosotros habláis. And then there is an accent there as well, so it's vosotros habláis. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. So you'll notice as you look through this chart here that A is used over and over and over again because it's an AR verb. So you have yo hablo, a little bit different. Tú hablas, él habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ellos hablan. And these letters in blue refer to the person who's doing the action, and they actually get repeated in ER verbs and IR verbs as well as some other tenses. So now we're going to take a look at the ER verbs and the IR verbs. They work in a similar fashion to the AR verbs. We're just changing the endings now. So for the ER verbs, we're going to use the example of comer, to eat, and for the IR verbs, the example of escribir, to write. So for comer, we'll start with that. You drop off the last 2 letters, which leaves you with the stem com. And then for the yo form, similar to how it is in the AR verbs, it's yo como. For the to form, we have the same stem, com, and now that it's an ER verb, we use this common ending for the present tense of ER verbs, a. So we have tu comes. That's because it's a tu. Then for ele usted, stem, it's an ER verb. So we have él come, ella come, usted come. For nosotros, nosotras, we have the stem again, the ER verb ending, and then the nosotros ending. Nosotros comemos. In vosotros, vosotras, that's used in Spain, the stem, again, the ER verb ending, and then the vosotros ending. Vosotros coméis. The ellos, ellas, ustedes, we have the stem again, the ER ending, and then the ellos, ellas, ustedes ending. Ellos comen. For escribir, it works very similarly. So you have the stem, and then for the yo form, yo escribo. Tu escribes. Now, even though it's an IR verb, which is different from ER, it does use for a lot of the conjugations the same E, la letra E, as part of its ending. So it's tu comes, tu escribes. For él y usted, it's él y usted escribe, uses an E again. But nosotros and vosotros are different in this case, like they are in a lot of other circumstances. So you have nosotros escribimos. In this case, escribir, the IR verb, does use the I as part of its ending, along with in vosotros and vosotras. Escrib. You could think about having the I there, but then it also does carry an accent. So you have vosotros escribís. Ellos, ellos, ustedes, escrib. This is when we turn back to the pattern of using the letter E. Escriben.